My name is Morrissey Thibodeau. I'm originally from Louisiana and I just moved to Mississippi. Um, Both my two older children were vaccinated fully. One was born in 96 and one in 98. Both of them had a lifetime of problems, complications from skin infections to emotional problems. My son has chronic sinus problems. When he received his MMR booster, yeah, they do. When he was 4 years old, the entire left side of his body swole. His arm and leg.
You can go and
face.
explore if you like. Go and have a look.
Sorry.
That's fine.
The entire left side of his body swole to about twice his normal size, and of course they all told me, "Oh, it's normal. Everything's fine. He's fine." He now has Asperger's symptoms. We've never gotten him actually diagnosed, but he's just very prone to anger and outburst. He's a very unemotional, unattached, and just not very affectionate. My older daughter had lots of emotional problems, social anxiety. Very difficult for her to go to school and complete it, but she did.
Do you know which vaccines really affected her?
The one, not really, no. She never had any immediate problems. My son was the only one after his MMR that had, it was boom, the whole body swelled up. I never got any of my kids vaccinated after that. But my daughter, I guess, kind of got into self-medicating, as she got older, and I just lost her in February to an overdose. So,
how old is she?
She was 19. Yeah, just a lifetime of depression and sadness, I guess, finally got the best of her. But luckily my son, I'd say, is normal as can be. We had 4 children born in our family, all within 3 months of each other in 98, and there's only one that I would say is normal. He's got Asperger's, his cousin has autism, and their cousin has extreme food allergies. Like, there's almost nothing she can eat. And of course they were all vaccinated. But my younger two, and this one, she's never had a shot. She's never even been to a sick visit. She's never had antibiotics.
Do you just stay away?
Right, oh yeah. She's never sick, and she's like extremely intelligent. You can just tell the first two were just so dampened, and dulled. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but she's got a light in her that the other two theirs was sort of extinguished, I guess is the best.
Do you remember your first 2 children before they were vaccinated?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What does that say?
It says choices.
Choices?
Yeah, just perfectly normal, happy. And after their shots, of course, they had the high fevers and the squealing, and of course they're like, "Oh, just alternate Motrin and Tylenol, and everything's fine. Everything's normal. That's normal." And I found out it is normal. It's a reaction to poison. It's really sad that they dismiss obvious problems. But I don't know. I just regret ever trusting them.
They have an oven.
And you have had no vaccines at all, so you are a healthy little girl, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she's adorable. Hey, I'm so sorry. What's the name of your daughter?
Peyton Edwards.
I'm so sorry that happened. Have you written her name on the bus?
I did, yes. I wrote her, she and her brother. He's doing well, considering, other than his emotional problems and everything. And the
Must have hit him hard as well, losing his sister.
Definitely. Yeah, he's really angry about it. But at the same time, he's sort of detached and unemotional about it, he's like, yeah, it's over, it happened.
Were they prescription drugs she was taking?
No. No, street drugs. And that was a problem I was really afraid of, and I told her, you have to be careful with that. You never know what's in it. And sure enough, it happened for Mardi Gras in New Orleans. There was a bad batch going around, and she got something she wasn't aware of, and she died within a few minutes.
There's no words. You're getting a lot of love from people. This is live. They're giving you love. I'll show you.
Oh.
See all those hearts?
Wow, thank you.
It's just for you, and people just feeling terrible for you, and hugs and love. And
I appreciate it.
Mom, what's this say?
That says rights as well. Parents need rights. It's just such an amazing difference to see this one versus the other ones, and I'm so glad that I learned my lesson. I learned it the hard way, but I learned.
I want you to ask me.
What does that say?
That
What would you say to parents that are just starting out?
But I don't know. It said
I would definitely say educate yourself, you know. Talk to other parents and believe other parents. Don't believe what the doctors and scientists say because they've all been snowed over.
this.
I mean, I wish I had known. I did everything parents were supposed to do on the schedule and everything, even though they had fevers and
Wait.
yes, and hours of crying and you know, rashes. I just did what you're supposed to do until my son had such a bad reaction. I was afraid I was going to lose him. You know, he had a fever for 4 or 5 days of 105. His whole body swelled up, and I'm like, all right, look, this is not right. This is not normal, and I never did it again. I'm just afraid I may have been
Is
too
that
late
a
by then.
dog?
Yes, it is a dog. It's a dog with a waggy tail. Somebody gave it to him. You like it?
But I definitely appreciate your time.
No, it's just tragic. It's tragic, and we hear so much from higher functioning damaged. The thoughts of suicide and self-harming,
Is this the camper?
and is it what?
It is a camper. It's a bus.
It's a camper, but you can't sleep in here because it's not really a bed.
But
It's a sort of work.
yeah,
it's an
I guess they
office.
figure
It's okay, baby.
if it's not super obvious, then it didn't happen, or that, you know, that
love
wasn't
that
related.
dress.
But
Thank you.
So
I mean,
pretty.
you have so many with the same problems and symptoms. You gotta open your eyes, and even just emotional damage is damage enough.
Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad. Do you have a picture of her?
No, not on. Well, no. My
Can you
phone.
send us one because we
Oh,
have
absolutely.
they're travelling with us up front.
Yes, indeed.
You,
She's so
this hair. People would pay money for this shiny, beautiful hair. Never ever put colour in it. Promise me.
She wants it to be blue.
Oh, well, maybe blue. You can put blue in.
Like the princess from Frozen, she was blue.
Right. They're taking
She's
a picture. You
precious.
see?
You look great with
She's
blue
gonna
hair.
pretend to be shy now.
Hmm?
So you look great with blue hair. Look, you're getting blue hearts. See that?
Blue hearts and blue hair.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling your story. It's tough.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure Vax opened a whole shotload of memories.
Yeah.
It's like post-traumatic stress disorder everyone goes through when they watch it.
I still have nightmares. I mean, I had a bad enough problem when she was born in Mississippi. They tried to force me into a C-section, and I actually had to flee. I had her in Jackson because I was afraid that they were going to involve police in my pregnancy where I was living in Macomb. So I fled. Yeah, it was that bad.
It's no wonder the youth of today that Bella speaks to say they just don't want to have children. They don't want to bring them
It's
into-
scary, and you know they just try to mandate and medicate everything, and it's not cool. I wanted to have a VBAC, and they wouldn't even let me try. So we fled. And I really thought they were going to try to force me into surgery. Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you know what you get to do? You get to sign the inside of the bus because the people who are on the inside of the bus are the people who haven't had any vaccines and are healthy. Did I just knock your thing over?
You're fine.
Yeah. Did you write a name?
Oh, sure. And where's that?
She can write it anywhere she likes on this
All
white,
right.
and she will be number 20.
You're gonna write your name?
You want to write your name?
You want to write it?
And never draw on anybody else's
Right.
camper van again.
Can you write it S?
I can't.
Here, you put my name. You put your hand on me, and we'll write it together. We just moved here
We should take that.
from Mississippi. To Mississippi from Louisiana. And since my daughter can't go to school, she stayed. We actually left her behind. She's living with another family just so she can remain in school. And it's just not. It's not fair. It's not cool. I hate it.
No, it's not cool.
Thank you.
It's awful.
You draw up like a flower right there, but you have to be very fast.
Draw whatever you like.
She's and my little one. She's just a social butterfly, and she wants to be in school, and she can't come here, so we had to leave her. All right. Oh, that's good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so